5 minutes left to see the truth about what your soulmate is really doing. My beloved child, do not look away now, because the moment you have been waiting for may not be what you expected. Something hidden behind silence is slowly coming into the light, and the truth you are about to discover could change the way you see your connection forever. There are moments in life when everything appears normal on the outside, but something much deeper is moving beneath the surface. A message left unsent. A thought kept hidden. A feeling that someone carries but never expresses. And sometimes, the biggest changes begin quietly, before anyone else can notice. Today, you are standing at the edge of a revelation. But before you decide what this means, ask yourself one powerful question. What if the person you are thinking about has been experiencing a journey that you never saw? What if the distance, the silence, or the unexpected changes were not the ending of a story, but a chapter preparing for something new? Your soulmate's actions may not always reveal the full picture. People often hide their deepest thoughts behind daily routines, responsibilities, and the image they show to the world. But every choice creates a pattern. Every moment leaves a clue. And sometimes, when you slow down and become aware, you begin to see what was always there. Stay with this moment, because the next realization may help you understand why certain things happened the way they did. The truth is not always found in loud words. Sometimes it appears through small changes. A different attitude. A new perspective. A sudden desire to grow. A quiet moment where someone finally begins to understand what truly matters. Your soulmate may be going through a transformation that is invisible to everyone else. Imagine a person standing at a crossroads, looking back at everything they have experienced and forward toward everything they could become. In that moment, they begin to question their choices, their priorities, and the connections that have touched their heart. And this is where the story becomes interesting. Because what if the biggest thing happening right now is not something happening around them, but something awakening within them? The universe of human emotions is complex. Sometimes people need time to recognize the value of something meaningful. Sometimes they need space to understand what they truly feel. And sometimes, the answers they were searching for were closer than they ever imagined. You might think you are waiting for a sign, but perhaps the sign is already appearing through the changes happening around you. Before you move forward, remember this line. Not every silent moment means something is lost. Some silent moments are where understanding is created. The next part of this journey will reveal why the hidden actions of your soulmate may carry a deeper meaning than you first believed. Stay a little longer, because the truth is beginning to unfold. Something unexpected is taking shape behind the scenes, and before you make any assumptions, look deeper, because the answer you are searching for may be connected to a decision that has been quietly forming for a long time. My beloved child, there are invisible moments in every connection that nobody else can see. Moments when a person sits alone with their thoughts, when memories return unexpectedly, and when the heart begins to recognize things that the mind once ignored. Your soulmate's journey is not only about what they are doing today. It is about what they are realizing, what they are changing, and what they are preparing themselves to understand. Think about this. Have you ever noticed how a person can appear completely fine, yet something inside them is shifting? They continue their routine, they talk to others, they smile, but deep within, they are reflecting on choices that brought them to this point. This is where the hidden truth begins. Sometimes people do not immediately reveal what they feel because they are still trying to understand it themselves. They are collecting pieces of their own story, connecting memories, lessons, and emotions that slowly create a clearer picture. And what if the reason you feel a strong connection is because something meaningful is being recognized on both sides? Not through magic. Not through impossible promises. But through awareness, growth, and the powerful way human beings influence each other's lives. Your soulmate may be learning something important right now. They may be discovering that certain connections cannot be measured only by time, distance, or circumstances. Some people leave an impression that continues to inspire change long after a conversation ends. Wait for this realization. The person you care about may not be where they started. They may be becoming someone who sees life differently than before. A new mindset can change everything. A person who once avoided difficult conversations may begin searching for honesty. Someone who once ignored their emotions may begin understanding them. Someone who once moved without direction may begin looking for purpose. And perhaps this is the part you were never meant to see before now. The hidden transformation. Because sometimes the greatest truth is not found in what someone says publicly. It is found in the choices they make when nobody is watching. Take a moment and think about the journey of two people. Every experience teaches something. Every challenge creates wisdom. Every season prepares the heart for a new level of understanding. If this message connects with you, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments and share this moment with someone who may need a reminder that growth often happens quietly. Your support helps this message reach those who are searching for hope and clarity. Now, don't leave yet. Because the next part reveals the question that changes everything. What is the one thing your soulmate may be trying to understand before they reveal their true intentions? The answer may be closer than you think. Stay until the end of this journey, because sometimes the final piece of the puzzle appears only after you are willing to see the whole picture. A new layer of this story is opening now, and what you are about to understand may change the way you look at the signs, the silence, and the journey that brought you to this moment. My beloved child, there are times when life does not reveal answers immediately because the right understanding requires the right timing. A seed does not become a tree overnight. A dream does not become reality in a single moment. And a person does not always discover their deepest truth without going through a process of growth. This is the hidden part of the journey. Your soulmate may be experiencing a moment of reflection, where old thoughts are being replaced by new awareness. The things they once overlooked may now seem important. The feelings they once pushed aside may now demand their attention. But here is the question that makes everything more interesting. What if what they are doing right now is connected to becoming the person they always needed to be? Sometimes a person has to understand themselves before they can fully understand the value of another person. They have to recognize their own emotions, their own dreams, and their own direction before they can build something meaningful with someone else. The truth is, every person carries a story that others cannot fully see. Behind every smile, there are thoughts. Behind every decision, there are reasons. Behind every change, there is usually a moment of realization. And maybe the most important thing happening right now is not a dramatic announcement or a sudden event. Maybe it is a quiet awakening. A moment where your soulmate begins to see certain memories differently. A moment where they recognize the impact of a connection that once seemed ordinary. A moment where they understand that some people are not just part of a chapter, they become part of the lesson that shapes the entire story. Stay with this thought. Because sometimes the biggest revelations do not arrive with noise. They arrive as clarity. Imagine standing in front of a window after a long storm. At first, everything looks unclear. But slowly, the clouds move away, and the view becomes visible again. That is how understanding works. The confusion begins to fade. The questions begin to settle. The heart begins to recognize what truly matters. Your journey is also important in this moment. While someone else is discovering their path, you are discovering yours. You are becoming more aware of your own value, your own strength, and the kind of connection that aligns with the person you are becoming. Do not underestimate the power of personal growth. Sometimes the greatest change happens when you stop searching for answers outside and start building peace within yourself. And this is the turning point. Because the truth about what your soulmate is really doing may not only be about their actions. It may be about the realization forming inside them. A realization that certain connections cannot simply be forgotten. A realization that some moments in life leave a mark that continues to guide future choices. Before you move forward, remember this. The most important transformations often happen in silence before they become visible to the world. You have reached a deeper part of this story, but there is still another piece waiting to be uncovered. Because the next revelation will explore what happens when someone finally stops ignoring what their heart has been trying to understand. Stay with this journey, the picture is becoming clearer. The moment you are entering now is different, because sometimes the biggest truth does not arrive as a surprise, it arrives as a realization that everything was quietly leading toward this point. My beloved child, look beyond the surface for a moment. Every person you meet is carrying an unseen world inside them. A world of thoughts, memories, questions, and decisions that nobody else can fully understand. And this is where the mystery of your soulmate's journey becomes deeper. You may have wondered, what are they really doing? What are they thinking? What is happening in their life when I am not there to see it? The answer may not be hidden in a single action. It may be hidden in the changes taking place within them. Because a person's greatest movements are not always physical. Sometimes the biggest steps happen in the mind and heart first. A person begins looking at their past differently. They begin questioning old choices. They begin recognizing the things that truly bring meaning into their life. And perhaps this is the transformation happening quietly. A new understanding. A new perspective. A new awareness of what deserves attention. Stay with this moment, because this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. What if your soulmate is not simply moving through ordinary days, but going through a period of personal discovery? What if the conversations they are having, the choices they are making, and the lessons they are learning are all shaping a future version of themselves? Sometimes life creates distance not to remove people from our path, but to allow growth to happen. When two people grow, they gain a deeper understanding of what they truly want, what they truly value, and what kind of connection they want to create. Your soulmate's current actions may be connected to finding clarity. They may be realizing that certain memories still hold meaning. They may be understanding that some connections leave an impact that time cannot easily erase. But remember something important. Your worth does not depend on someone else's realization. Your journey matters because you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more aware of your own path. The most powerful energy you can carry is not waiting. It is becoming. Becoming the person who welcomes love, peace, and meaningful connections with confidence and patience. And maybe that is the hidden truth behind everything. While you were wondering what your soulmate was doing, life was also preparing you for a new level of understanding. If this message has brought a thought, a memory, or a feeling to your heart, you can share your experience with others. Leave your thoughts in the comments and pass this message along to someone who may need a reminder that every journey has its own timing. Now, before this story reaches its next revelation, remember this. Sometimes people do not change because someone tells them to change. They change when they finally understand what truly matters. The next part will go even deeper into the signs of this inner shift and why certain moments can completely change the direction of a connection. Wait for the next chapter. Because the truth you are searching for is not disappearing. It is becoming clearer. A hidden chapter is beginning to reveal itself, and the next realization may help you understand that what appears ordinary on the outside can sometimes carry a much deeper meaning underneath. My beloved child, there is something fascinating about human connections. Not every important moment happens in front of an audience. Not every decision is announced. Not every feeling is immediately spoken. Some of the greatest changes happen quietly, in the private corners of someone's thoughts. And this is where we look deeper into what your soulmate may truly be doing. Perhaps they are not simply moving through their daily routine. Perhaps they are evaluating their choices, observing their own growth, and trying to understand the direction they want their life to take. Because before a person changes their actions, they often change their perspective first. A new thought appears. A new question forms. A new understanding begins. And suddenly, the things that once seemed unclear start becoming easier to recognize. Think about this. Have you ever looked back at an old moment and realized its importance only after time had passed? That is how many meaningful connections work. Sometimes people understand the value of something when they gain enough wisdom to see it clearly. They begin connecting moments that once seemed separate. They begin recognizing lessons hidden inside experiences. And maybe that is the stage your soulmate is moving through. A stage of awareness. A stage of reflection. A stage where the heart and mind begin searching for the same answer. But here is the surprising part. The truth about what someone is doing is not always about where they are going. Sometimes it is about who they are becoming. A person who is growing will start making different choices. They become more thoughtful. They become more intentional. They begin protecting what brings genuine meaning into their life. This is the unseen transformation. The one that happens before anyone else notices. Stay with this thought, because it carries an important message. A person's actions are often the result of an inner conversation that nobody else can hear. Your soulmate may be having conversations with themselves about their dreams, their future, and the kind of person they want to become. And while they are discovering their path, you are also walking through your own transformation. You are learning patience. You are building confidence. You are understanding that your happiness cannot be placed only in someone else's hands. The strongest connections are created when two people choose growth, not because they are incomplete, but because they want to become better versions of themselves. So if you have been wondering what is happening behind the scenes, remember this. Sometimes the answer is not found by chasing every detail. Sometimes the answer appears when you recognize the bigger picture. Because every person has a journey unfolding, and every journey has moments where everything begins to make sense. Before you move on, hold on to this final thought. What is meant to teach you will always leave you wiser. What is meant to inspire you will always leave you stronger. The next part will uncover another hidden layer, the moment when inner changes begin creating visible signs that cannot be ignored. Stay with this journey, because the story is still unfolding. Something is shifting beneath the surface, and the next piece of this journey may reveal why certain changes are happening at a time when you least expected them. My beloved child, there comes a point in every story when the unseen begins to create visible signs. What was once only a thought becomes an action. What was once only a feeling becomes a decision. And what was once hidden begins to find its way into the open. This is the moment where awareness becomes powerful. Because when someone is going through a transformation, the first signs are not always dramatic. They are often small, almost invisible moments that reveal a different mindset. A person starts seeing situations differently. They begin choosing their words more carefully. They begin understanding the importance of certain connections. They begin realizing that some moments in life cannot simply be replaced. And this may be the deeper truth behind what your soulmate is really doing. Perhaps they are not just moving forward through ordinary days. Perhaps they are learning, reflecting, and preparing themselves for a new chapter of understanding. But here is the question you should consider. What if the biggest change is happening inside their perspective before it appears in their reality? Because every meaningful shift begins somewhere. A thought becomes a belief. A belief becomes a choice. A choice becomes a new direction. And sometimes, the person who seems quiet or distant is actually spending time discovering answers within themselves. Imagine someone looking through old memories, not with sadness, but with a new understanding. They begin noticing details they once ignored. They begin appreciating moments they once took for granted. That kind of awareness can change the way a person sees everything. Stay with this thought, because this is where many people misunderstand the journey. They look only at what is happening right now. But life is often about what is being prepared. A sunrise does not happen instantly. First, the darkness slowly fades. Then the first light appears. And finally, the whole world begins to see the new day. Personal growth works the same way. The changes happening within someone may take time before they become clear to others. And while your soulmate is discovering their own path, remember that you also have a beautiful journey unfolding. Your growth matters. Your dreams matter. Your peace matters. The strongest version of yourself is not created by waiting for someone else to complete your story. It is created when you continue becoming the person you were meant to be. And maybe this is the unexpected truth. Sometimes two people are not only connected by what they feel, but also by how they inspire each other to grow. A meaningful connection can become a mirror, showing both people the areas where they can learn, improve, and become more aware. Before you leave this moment, remember these words. The most important things in life are often built quietly before they are revealed openly. The journey is not finished yet. There is still another layer waiting to be discovered. A deeper look into the choices, emotions, and realizations that may be shaping what comes next. Stay with this story a little longer. Because the next revelation may help you understand the true reason behind this powerful transformation. A quiet truth is coming closer now.